Recording in progress.
Testing. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tiffany Turner. I'm Assistant Superintendent for Management Services and Clerk of the District. Thank you for joining us for our Meet the Candidate night. Each candidate will be provided 5 minutes to speak. We have 5 candidates running for 4 open seats on the Board of Education. 2 seats are for 3-year terms commencing May 22nd, 2024 through June 30th, 2027. 1 seat is for a 3-year term commencing July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2027. And 1 seat is for a 1-year term commencing May 22nd, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. As clerk of the district, I would like to remind each candidate that there will be 5 minutes per a 5-minute timer present on the screen. Please keep in mind that the timer will turn yellow when time is almost up and turn red when the time has expired. Please be respectful and conclude your statement in the allotted time frame. We will be holding candidates to the 5-minute time frame parameters. Just a reminder that if anyone has any questions concerning absentee ballots, they can contact the business office at 315-638-6055. Following the Meet the Candidate night, we will immediately begin the public hearing for the proposed 2024-2025 spending plan. For that portion of the evening, we will be turning the microphone over to Dr. Joseph DeBarbary, Superintendent of Schools. All Board of Education candidates will be called to speak in the order in which they appear on the ballot. A random drawing was held to determine the order of the names listed. The candidate order is Jennifer Geiger, Thomas Bull, Don Donald Miller, Jeremy Kelly, and Christina Favetto. Throughout the budget hearing, the district leadership will take questions from the public during the presentation, but during the Meet the Candidate night, we are not having a question and answer. So I will turn this over to our first candidate on the ballot, Jennifer Geiger.
Thank you. Okay, I'm of an age where I need these. Hello, nice to see you all. Good evening. I'm the newbie. My name is Jennifer Geiger, and I'm running for school board. Well, to be honest, this is kind of out of characteristic for me because I generally talk to teenagers. I am a teacher and a mom, and I decided to step up seeing that we had some turnover with the board, and I wanted to basically give back to the community by serving in a way that I can and hopefully provide some long-term commitment to that. I am a mom. I'm a mom of 5. 3 are still students here in the district at Ray and Derby and Baker. And I don't really want to go into details, but several of our kids have special needs. And so I know that I share some of your concerns about staffing and making sure that we are doing well for our kids, making sure that their special needs are met, that career training options are open to them, because many of them will go on to college, but several need other alternative ways of achieving, may go directly into careers. I'm also a teacher. I've taught every grade 7 through 12 English, and I've seen how the world has shifted in my last 24 years of service, and how childhood has really changed. Anxiety and depression are up, and some of that may be because we're noticing more, but also I'm hearing from a lot of people that it is due to the electronics and the social media. I've heard from many constituents concerned about cell phone use in our schools, and I think that's something that I would certainly want to lend my voice to. I also want to make sure that we have lots of educational opportunities and club opportunities for our students, and those need to be funded. Whether we allow them to fundraise. I've heard from a lot of people concerned about how to pay for these valuable activities and extracurriculars. So I would like to lend my voice to that issue as well. Of course, I'm noticing what's going on nationally There's a lot of pressure on us to eliminate diversity and inclusion, and I want to say very clearly, I'm so in favor of diversity and inclusion. Obviously, inclusion also includes special ed, but also LGBTQ rights and people of all races and faith backgrounds. And I know in talking with so many of you, you share that concern that our schools need to be welcoming places for all. I want to be a voice of reason. I want to lend my assets, lend myself. I am known at school for keeping a cool head, being able to listen to multiple viewpoints and hash out a plan of action that is fair with all people. I embrace restorative measures and want discipline to make sense. I may not be the most experienced board member, obviously, but I am a quick learner, and I am confident that I represent the values of the parents of our community. So, thank you.
Okay, and our next candidate on the ballot is Thomas Bull.
Tell me when. Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tom Bull, and I've decided to break my 5 minutes into 3 sections. Once, starting off with an introduction, a little bit of background about who I am, the why. Why is it that that I'm interested in being a board member, and then maybe some of the qualifications that I have. My name is Tom Bull, and my wife Nikki and I have lived in Baldwinsville for 28 years. We have a son whose name is Sam. He graduated from Baker High School in 2016, went to Newhouse School of Communication at Syracuse University for his undergraduate degree. He was one of those students that graduated in 2020, so he didn't really have a graduation. But then he went back and got his master's degree at the iSchool. He is now a news producer at station KDKA, shout out to Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's doing really well. The reason I bring that up is because I do think that even though my wife and I are both educators, and we like to say we did a good job raising him, we also know that a big chunk of his success is tied directly to the education that he got when he was having his days in Baldwinsville schools. And so I think that's something that we're really fortunate for and grateful for. In terms of me, my background, I've been in education for 38 years. I know you're looking at me and thinking, how is that possible? You look so young and vibrant. I always tell my students it's because I started teaching when I was 12. I did my first 20 years as an elementary school teacher in Liverpool in all-inclusive classrooms. We started the inclusive program in Liverpool, and so very proud of that. My last 18 years, though, I've been at the School of Education at Syracuse University, doing a variety of things, working on grants, federal grants, doing school improvement work, but my passion is I'm a professor that teaches. And here's the thing that I know, that even though I've taught from kindergarten to graduate students, the needs that students have are pretty much the same. They look a little different in kindergarten than they do in college, but those are very important things to pay attention to, and those are the things that guide me. My path to this point is a little different. I was appointed in January, so I've had about the last 4 months to really get a feel for what it means to be a Board of Education member. I've had an opportunity to be out in the community, meeting with teachers, administrators, parents, and most importantly, students. And one thing that I've learned in the short time that I've been out as a board member is sort of what I knew about Baldwinsville anyways, which was that there is a passion for excellence in Baldwinsville, and I do really appreciate that. I think as a board member, it's very important for us to be engaged with what's going on in the community, and the opportunity to do that, to me, is very, very satisfying. Here's the other thing that I learned. Not everybody is loving everything that we're doing in Baldwinsville. I think that's also a really important thing to pay attention to, because we know that schools and school districts need to be fluid, because there's people that are at the center of schools. And we need to be able to listen, to adjust, to be able to have everybody feel as though their voices are heard. I truly believe in school community. That's at the heart of my beliefs from all of the teaching that I've done. And this idea of allowing people to feel as though their voice is being heard is super, super important. Now, the things that I think that I bring to the table as a board member are things that I think that would help to embrace, strengthen, support that inclusive school community I think that we all want to be a part of. I think most importantly, there's these two. Ready for it? Collaboration and communication. And when I say collaboration, I mean respectful collaboration where we can agree to disagree, but we know that at the center of what we're doing is what's best for students. And so I think that piece is very important. I think it's important to be flexible. I think it's important to be a creative problem solver. I think it's important to be invested and passionate and in the moment and being willing to be accessible to the community. And those are things that I actually think that I've had the opportunity to do as I've been a part of the school board for the last, I guess, 4 months. In regards to my overall commitment to moving forward, if elected, I think I have the skills, I think I have the experiences. I also know there's a lot to learn, and so those are the things that I think that I bring to the community, the Baldwinsville school community, and I hope that I get your vote if you're out there voting, and I hope that you are. Thanks very much, and have a nice evening.
Okay, the next candidate is Donald Miller.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Don Miller. There's 5 of us. The difference between myself and these other wonderful people is that I was elected last year. And so I think my perspective on board services is sort of shaped a little bit differently because of that. You know, and you've got a card. Many of you have a card here. I've got some more if anybody wants one after the fact. You know, really, I was elected last year in a very, very different environment than we find ourselves in now. I mean, the truth is I was elected, as were other members last year, pretty much to sort of pivot, I think is the nicest way to say it. We really needed a reevaluation and a change in direction. We needed to make some serious changes. And the decision making along the way, particularly the first few months, was not easy. It was very, very difficult. But I gotta be honest with you, one of the easiest decisions that we made, I think, and probably one of the best decisions that we made, one of the most successful things that we did, we found a great superintendent. And this school district, the board sort of casts the vision and sets the mission, but it's the superintendent and his staff who really march things out. We set the goals for them, and they really walk it forward. And we've done some pretty important things. There has been a little bit of turnover in the board over the course of this past year, and largely a result of some of that pivot, unfortunately. But those things needed to be done, and we're pretty much finished with those. And we've been able to sort of reestablish sort of a student culture again. There were a number, there's a string of years where lots of things were going on that really didn't have much to do with kids. And didn't really have much to do with the teachers who were supporting and teaching and nurturing kids. And it didn't have a lot to do with the bus drivers who were transporting the kids and the food service workers who were feeding the kids and the counselors who were helping kids when they weren't feeling right. We've gotten significantly off track. But I think at this point, we've sort of recaptured a lot of what we needed to. We haven't finished, and that's why I'm running again. So it's kind of odd. I ran last year, and it's supposed to be a 3-year term. Last year, there were, just as this year, there were 4 candidates last year, 4 open seats, and 1 open seat was going to be a fill of a vacancy, and that's the one that I occupy. So I'm running again. We did some great stuff over the course of this past year. A lot of adjustment and recasting the vision and refocusing resources human resources, financial resources, capital resources on kids. And that's really I think the message that I want you all to walk home with is that we've gotten a lot of great work done. And some of it's on here, you'll see some things on here. But like I said, we're not quite finished, and that's why I'm running again. I think there's some more things we can do. We're making a great shift. I was a teacher for a long time. I was a principal for a long time. I ran a number of buildings in an international setting, and so it would be considered like a superintendent then. For comparison to Beeville, one of the districts that I ran had 13 buildings and something on the order of 45,000 kids. And so, I've kind of seen all of the levels from the administrative side. And from a board perspective, a lot of the things that we're looking at this past year, and that we will be looking at this coming year and the year after that, are very, very long-term things. You'll hear Dr. DeBarbary say sometimes, we're making plans now for kids who haven't even been born yet. That's how far forward we're looking. And so I want to participate in that. There are things that need to be done, and I think maintaining that focus on kids is really the key element for this board, for any board, to be successful going forward. So I'd like to contribute in that way, and I'd sure love to have your vote on Election Day. If you've got any questions after this, I'll be kind of hanging around after the budget presentation. Thanks for your time.
Okay, our next candidate, Jeremy Kelly.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeremy Kelly. It's great to be here with you tonight and just have a brief moment to speak with you. Just start a little bit of background. I grew up here, lived in Baldwinsville almost my entire life, except for some college stints in law school, and always wanted to come home, particularly raising kids, get back where you have babysitting, right? So we've always come back, but we moved back permanently in '06, and I have 4 children. Wait till you hear this, 22, 20, 16, and 6. So that was my wife saying, honey, you need to sit down for a moment, I gotta tell you something. But she's amazing, and she is in Palmer School currently. But I have 2 graduates of Baldwinsville, a sophomore and a first grader. Growing up here my whole life, I graduated in '94, and my brother graduated in '91. I think my dad moved here in the '50s, and he likes to say he was, I think he believed he was the only Italian in Baldwinsville schools back then. But he brought our family here, and we've been here ever since. So I love this district. I love the schools. I'm passionate about them being excellent. Our goal is for the Baldwinsville schools to be the best district in the area. And I think the key to that is having a clear vision. Having a clear vision for the district. And I think for an effective school board, there needs to be a clear vision. And I, like Tom, was appointed in January to a vacancy. And so kind of came in where the board had, in a lot of ways, completely almost turned over. And I think turned over for a lot of good reasons. And what I'm finding now, as I've been able to serve the last couple of months, is I'm beginning to see the vision that this district has. I'm beginning to see, as Don said, the excellent decision that the school board made and our superintendent. And I'm excited to be a part of some big decisions that we have coming up in the future. And I think it's important that the school board be filled with common sense people, not agenda-driven folks who are trying to get somebody, but common sense people who want to see the kids get what they need and want to see this district continue to flourish. And I think we're getting there. And so that's why I'm running again. I mean, I'm running again. I'm running for the first time, but that's why I want to stay on after being appointed. For school boards, I think it's important that they have a clear vision. I think it's important that school boards set goals, common sense goals about academics, about the kids learning and growing in their academic abilities, and continue to set goals with the budget, set a vision to put the money where we need it to be so that the kids can get what they need to get to be the best. Focus on student achievement. Data driven, like look at the data, understand it, and focus on our kids and their ability to continue to achieve. And I think that this board has the capability to do that. I think it's important for the board to build positive relationships with the community, with other board members, with the district. Just quickly, a little bit about my background. I spent 12 years in public service here at the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office. I was a prosecutor for most of my career. For 6 of those years, I led the Special Victims Bureau. So I led a bureau with 8 prosecutors, and all we handled was child abuse, sexual assaults, domestic violence, and that was the unit that I led for 6 years. I was in it for 12. And my job as the Chief of Special Victims over that time was to collaborate, to build relationships with law enforcement, with CPS, with other prosecutors. We have a jewel in this community, I'll speak quickly, called the McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. And that's a place where everyone who works on those cases is co-located. And we had to work together to help kids in every way possible. Every single disclosure that came through this county for 6 years came across my desk. And we worked together and did a phenomenal job of helping those kids get justice, helping those kids get the help that they need. And I'm now in private practice, but those skills I developed over those years, I've found them to be incredibly useful on this board over the last 4 months. And now that I'm in private practice and no longer vocationally in public service, I just want to spend my time in public service here in the district where I grew up in the district where my kids go, and in the district where I plan on my family being for a long time. So I appreciate you listening to me for these brief moments. Would love your vote on May 21st, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Our next candidate, Christina Pivetta.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out tonight and spending some time listening to all of us and learning about what you're going to be voting on in May. I really appreciate it. At the risk of stating the obvious, we know that our area is going to change and be a little bit different over the next several years. And we don't know exactly how things will change, but we do know a couple of things. One, the area is likely to experience a lot of growth. And number 2, when families move into an area, they want to move someplace where the schools are excellent. And I think Baldwinsville has excellent schools, and I would really like to be one of the people to help ensure that continues. In my view, Board of Education needs to work collaboratively with each other, with members of the community, and with administrators, faculty, and staff in the school district so that we can offer the highest quality educational programming and a variety of experiences to interest every student. Our current board is working really well together, and I'd like to continue to be a part of that work. So just a few highlights. Since I'm the last speaker, I'll give you a little summary of what our board has achieved over the last several years. In 2023, our graduation rate was 96%, the second highest in Onondaga County. We have award-winning programming in academics, the arts, and athletics. And for a few examples, we have 9 New York State Academic Excellence Award winners. We've been awarded one of the best communities for music for the last 15 years in a row. We offer the seal of biliteracy and a new seal of civic readiness. 75% of our varsity athletes have an average of 90 or above. That's a lot of stuff to be really proud of. And I think our board has contributed a lot to that, to those statistics. In addition to those academic accolades, we offer a variety of traditional extracurricular offerings, and we offer some non-traditional extracurricular programming that we should be really proud of. So for example, we have an esports team, and we have a unified bowling team and unified basketball team that I think we should be really proud of. So a little bit about me. I've served on this board as president and vice president and a wide variety of committees that come along with that. And This provides me with the knowledge and experience to be able to think critically about the issues facing our district and make thoughtful decisions. In addition, my academic background includes degrees in business and education. So I think those two degrees allow me to understand the core work of a school district and education excellence and the business of leading a school district and those strategic and policy level decisions that go along with that. I'm a healthcare administrator, when I work other than serving on the board. And in that capacity, I've led a wide variety of teams, strategic planning, and I've managed large budgets. So hopefully those skills translate into being a good board member. And then on a personal note, I grew up in this area and I raised 2 children in this community. I believe that an excellent school system is vital to a thriving community. And if you honor me with your vote, I'll continue to work hard for the children of our district. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to our candidates. That concludes our Meet the Candidates session, and we'll be moving on into the budget hearing after a couple minute break. Thank you.